Hi, everybody. This is Hina, and I am just expanding on last week's topic as promised on Tuesday. So let me just double check my sound. Yeah, so last week, the title of the video was sorry, I'm just double checking my sound. The title of the video was Can One Song Really Save the World? And it was basically trying to explain why Master Shah feels his song, why Master Shah feels that his song can possibly do that. So last week I had said we have different types of waves in our everyday lives. So even though we can't see the waves with our physical eye, we actually do see some waves with our physical eye, the wavelengths that are 400 to 700 nanometers. We hear the sound waves. We also feel and smell, but those waves are a little bit more complicated and complex to really describe. So we're gonna just take a maybe later. And thank you for the people watching live. I probably should schedule or make an announcement. So if anyone has any questions, please post them in the comment box. I'll try to answer it. Or if I need to be more clear with something, just let me know. So last week, I was showing you how everything is waves. We're embedded in waves, even if with our physical eye, we don't see the whole electromagnetic spectrum. And even the electromagnetic spectrum that currently science uses to mark its measurements, it's only what humans have instruments to measure. So even though it's scientifically, yes, it's valid, but until our instruments can measure smaller, finer frequencies, it's only going to be this much. Once our scientific tools expand or are able to measure the teenier frequencies, the longer wavelengths, then actually the electromagnetic spectrum will actually get bigger. It's just because we are limited in the scientific instruments we have right now. Just like 200 years ago, electricity wasn't very common. Everything was coal-based. But now electricity is basically an everyday thing. Now, solar power now hopefully will replace electricity really soon. So with every set of years, as humanity evolves, our science evolves, and everything builds on top of each other to make life, you want to make life easier, happier, healthier. So our instruments are getting smaller, our computers are getting smaller. In the 70s, the first computer was a supercomputer, and it took the whole room. It took a whole really cold, air-conditioned room to sustain it. And then as technology exponentially evolves, everything got smaller, and the computers got smaller, but still pretty big. Now, then we have laptops, we can literally put it on our laps. And now we have phones, which is a teeny computer. And as humanity evolves, again, everything will get smaller. So it's really amazing what's happening. So from last week, I was saying everything has waves. Everything is made of waves. So I wanted to expand on why 1.5 billion was the magic number that we are all aiming for. But before I get into that, I received the inspiration that I just need to expand on the wave thing so everyone kind of understands. So what I was expanding on last week is that everything's a mantra. Not everything's a mantra, but we have mantras, which is sound, which is vibrations for a reason. Because as we say our mantra, we're clearing our outsides, and we're also kind of expanding and getting space on our insides as well. So with the Love, Peace, Harmony song, it's I love my heart and soul. I love all humanity. Join hearts and souls together. Bring love, peace, and harmony. Bring love, peace, and harmony. And then the soul language version, which is what Master Sha received on September 10th, 2005 in the Muir Woods in California. He also received something called soul language, which you can just say it's a mantra. So the mantra he received is Lula Li. And Lula Li, those sounds or those words, once again, just to recap, vibrate certain parts of our body. So forgive my not so great drawing of a side of a person, but the Li, well, let's start with Lu. So the Lu vibrates this part of our body, which is our lower chakra, our lowest chakra, the lowest point. It's an acupuncture point. But this general area will essentially vibrate our first chakra. Then La, which in Master Sha's teachings, this point is also an acupuncture point that is very important to develop our soul power. And then Li, which vibrates this area of the body, which is important for our longevity, to make us stronger and live longer, basically. So as we are chanting the soul song, the vibrations are going from Lu to La to Li, and they're continuously vibrating together. They're also vibrating their specific areas. And as we're vibrating, anything that's in our spaces kind of like gets thrown out. Anything that's not of the same vibration or frequency kind of like has to leave, because it cannot sustain itself in this type of high vibration, high frequency environment. In Hinduism for years, Buddhism as well, other religions as well, please forgive me because I am not fully versed in all the religions, but most of my knowledge and wisdom comes from Hinduism and my teachers from Hinduism. So in Hinduism, we say Om, and people in the West, everyone's familiar with Om, everyone's doing yoga, asanas. So you guys, so the vast majority of people watching this is probably already familiar with Om. And the reason why Om is such a huge mantra in Hinduism and other religions is because, according to the wisdom there, Om was the first primordial sound that started the universe. That's the wisdom in that dharma, in that realm, religious realm. So it's, again, thousands and thousands and thousands of years. We know why we say mantras is for the vibration. So Om also vibrates certain parts of our body. So Om, which you can either spell it O-M or A-U-M. So Om, when you say it, the A vibrates this part of our body, abdomen. U, the Om vibrates the heart, and the vibrates our heads up here. So as we say Om, the vibrations are going this way, basically also clearing whatever is kind of like blocking our channels. This is a very, again, general, oversimplified comparison of teachings that are from different sources, but say the same thing in a different way. Master Sha's teachings, they do go deeper and more in detail as you become a student and you basically commit to learning his teachings, because they actually explain what we know from Hinduism and from different religions. He kind of like the religions kind of know, but he gives the why and the how these things work, and I start to understand even more. So the vibrations, again, like I was saying from last week, they help clear up the spaces and the matter is largely space. It's like 95% space. Well, space. And with quantum physics, there is no such thing as like nothing in like empty space. Quantum physics says there is dark matter, basically. Okay. So yeah, so we did the vibrations here. So as we're saying whatever mantra, it is clearing our insides, it's clearing our outsides, and anything that is not on the same vibration and frequency kind of has to release, because it cannot sustain itself in that type of environment. So if you have a high frequency, high vibration environment, either in your surroundings or in yourself, things of a lower frequency and vibration have to release. They have to go, or they have to attune themselves to the higher frequency and vibration. Love, Peace, and Harmony, again, is a song. It is sound waves. It is, okay, I'm gonna erase this. Love, Peace, Harmony. It's a song. It's a vibration. It's words. It's a mantra. It's basically a combination of very powerful sounds, melodies, pitches, and the teeniest vibrations. So like a sound wave. So let's just say this is a sound wave. And again, sound waves can vary. They can have longer wavelengths, shorter wavelengths, higher frequency. Doesn't matter. Those are, for now, we'll keep it very simple. So even in a sound wave, like this is the general average of the wave. But even within this wave, there's like teenier little, if we have the instruments correct or ready in humanity right now, there are even teenier little waves in this wave. They're teeny that we cannot measure right now. Right now, we can't do it. I know there's a lot of pseudoscience out there, but if we don't have the instruments yet to measure, we can't just say this doesn't work, this doesn't exist. Nikola Tesla was an amazing scientist way before his time. And he himself also said, I read somewhere, that he said, if we do not start learning about spirit, the evolution of science will not be able to go on. It'll just be blocked. So we have to really expand our minds. We have to expand our hearts to admit we don't know everything. Because anytime humanity in general reaches a certain point, something happens where we have to then go to the next step. We cannot stay in one place and say we know everything. I don't think we will ever know everything. So science is catching up behind what spirituality, yogis, monks, whatever title you want to use, the Vedas. Science is catching up to what thousands of years ago these enlightened beings already found out from their inspiration, their guides, their channels. So by the time science catches up with their instruments to measure these things, it's already, these monks in spirituality have already been practicing it. So now we have monks being for meditation. Now they're measuring, different universities, different scientists are measuring their brain patterns, their brain waves. We have quantum physics now, who's trying to see, break all these particles smaller and smaller and smaller, and see what is the smallest particle of matter made of. That's the super collider in Switzerland. They're bombarding particles together to see what is the smallest unit that makes up matter. And the instruments that they're using are huge. They're very complicated, they're complex. But once again, humanity is scientifically, with the current measurements and instruments we have, are kind of lagging behind, but they will catch up. But if the knowledge and the wisdom and the experience is already here, why wait for science to catch up? Experience it yourself. That's my suggestion. Now, also in last week's video, I said, because I'm an eye specialist, I've studied a lot of optics. So for me, I see things in a different way. So how an artist would see the world would be probably different from the way an engineer sees it and the way I see it. So just to finally put that final understanding of what I'm trying to convey when I say waves are everywhere, we're in vibration, we're in fields all the time, is this. Okay, so on the electromagnetic spectrum, the wavelengths of the visible light is 400 to 700 nanometers. So when we look, so if we like look at an apple, wow, that looks like a heart. Okay. If we look at an apple, or that's an apple, or actually even this marker, it's red. So what our eyes interpret as red is actually conveyed to our eyes by the wavelength the color emits, that the apple emits. When the apple, just by its internal quality, it's emitting this wavelength that our eye is interpreting, sends it to our brain, and our brain interprets it as red, which is 700 nanometers. 700 nanometers. So that's one type of wavelength that everything is bouncing off. Everything that we see with our physical eye is where our wavelengths bouncing off our eyes to the back of our retina, to our brain, which is interpreting it as color, as form, as whatever. So let's just say this is the visible part of the spectrum, okay? Again, this is oversimplified. This is not exact. So red will basically represent the visible part of the electromagnetic spectrum. Blue, we will say, will represent the sound waves, sound. So whatever we're listening to, you're hearing my voice has vibration and frequency. So blue is the sound. Green, we will say green is radio waves. Okay, so radio waves, long waves. When you're listening to your radio or CD, well, no, not CD, radio. Okay, and I'll do one more. Purple. Purple will represent let's say microwaves. Everyone has a microwave. Actually, I'll do one more. Orange, this is a big one. Orange will be our Wi-Fi signals. Because in order to get wireless internet, Bluetooth, this and that, we have Wi-Fi signals, different types of signals. Also, there'll be radio, blah, blah, blah. You guys know it. So when we sing or we say a high vibration mantra, which is also a sound wave, basically everything that is not of the same frequency, love, peace, harmony, very high frequency, very high vibration mantra. So anything that doesn't match, that doesn't resonate with love, peace, and harmony, will basically, each time we sing it, it clears all the junk. It clears everything that is not in resonance or that cannot attune itself to the same frequency and vibration, little by little, till basically in the ideal world, everything is clear, everything is on a very high vibration and frequency. White absorbs, just the color white has all the lengths of color in it because it can absorb everything, and it doesn't change the quality and the purity of the white. So ideally, we want the most pure or the clearest environment to thrive. Because when we have a clear, pure environment outside of us, inside of us, we are the healthiest, we're the happiest, and we can then spread the health and the happiness, the joy to others as well. That's why this song is so important. Right now in our world, there's so many things happening. So many people are angry. So many people are tense, just in every aspect of life. Ever since the lockdown, one of the statistics said that because everyone was confined to their homes, the surge of domestic violence started rising. Now, that is really disheartening to hear, but we must face that humanity is suffering. Humanity needs help. Humanity needs the song. Again, high vibration, high frequency. So the last thing I'm going to do is there's a small experiment that is really easy to conduct yourself. So, so you can see for yourself that words do have vibration and it does affect our exterior environment. So there was a Japanese scientist, I'm sure many of you are already familiar. It was Professor Emoto, and I did this experiment with my kids in the Caribbean when I lived there, for when I was teaching little kids. And basically what he had found with his scientific equipment is that words and vibrations or music had an effect on water and the crystalline structures that formed when he would expose a water molecule to a happy song, a good song, or a not so great song, and quickly freeze it and take a picture. And the ones that were in the joyful, loving, nice environment of that song, of that frequency and vibration, had the most beautiful crystalline structures. So what we're going to do, or what I'll do, and I urge you to do it so you can see for yourself, is a really easy, simple experiment. So what I did with the kids, or what I learned to do with the kids, was we're just going to get 2 or 3 containers and fill it with cooked rice. And on the containers, we will write love, peace, and harmony for one. And the other one, well, technically you're supposed to say hateful things to it, but I will just ignore it. So this is my 1 jar of rice, cooked rice. I'm gonna pour some water in it. And in this one, I'm going to write love, peace, and harmony. Love, peace, harmony. And on the, and actually you do this with 3, I did it with 3 containers when I did it last time with the kids. But the second one, you're supposed to write hate, and you're supposed to say, I hate you, you're not so smart, you're not, the nicest person to be around and whatever. But I don't want to do that. So the 3rd jar is one that you just ignore. You leave it in the corner and you just ignore it. So that's what I'll do with this one. I'm just going to leave it in a corner and ignore it for the next couple of weeks. And again, you can do the same thing. The only difference is that you do it with 3 jars, but on one of the jars, you have to scream at it and say you hate it and negative things. The one with love, peace, harmony, or love or happiness, whatever high vibration word you choose to write on that one, then you have to go to it, sing love, peace, harmony, send it love, say you love it. So this one, I'm just going to ignore, no labels, nothing. And I think probably in 1 to 2 weeks, you should notice a difference. I should notice a difference. And I will next week, I will show you the results. But it's a really easy experiment. Many people have done it. I did it over 10 years ago with the kids. And the results are really interesting. I urge you to try. It doesn't take a lot of time, doesn't take a lot of effort or needing any scientific equipment. But I think that would really help make an impact that, yes, we do have an effect on our external environments with our words and what messages we're sending. And it's the same thing in our internal environment, because whatever's outside really is a reflection of what's inside. So that's what I wanted to basically expand on today. And just the very last thing, if you're spiritually inclined, how I had said earlier that we're embedded in waves. And I said the red was our visible waves. I said blue was sound waves. Green, let's just say Wi-Fi. And purple, like microwaves. The inspiration that came to me a little while ago, again, if you're spiritually inclined, I just thought I would give you this insight. What I received was, I received this like 1 or 2 weeks ago. If you're spiritually inclined, you know that Hinduism, Buddhism, and maybe other cultures, forgive me because I don't know the proper term for it. But often we say that we are, the human world, we are stuck in samsara, which is the bitter sea. We, in Far East traditions, one of their main Buddhas is Guanyin, which in India years ago was Avalokiteshvara. So this Buddha is known to help fishermen who are drowning, who are in the sea and need help, and they call to her and she comes and helps him or her. Avalokiteshvara, it was the male version. And then in China, for the compassion aspect, they've changed the title to a female name. But she's known popularly as helping fishermen and helping them if they're drowning in the ocean, in the sea. And my insight, which was 1 or 2 weeks ago, was we're all in the bitter sea. Each of us, even if we can't tell or we can't see it, we're all in the bitter sea. And then we're lucky enough where we have someone who can help us come out of it, who can help us guide us out of it. And the way Master Sha is helping humanity get out of the bitter sea, the biggest way is love, peace, and harmony. Singing it, embodying it, spreading it. He's teaching us to get out of this bitter sea that we are in, because all these waves that we're in, not all of them bad, but most of them, we're limited by. We're limited by our eyesight, by our sound. We can only hear 4 to 7 megahertz. Need to double check that figure. I'm not an audiologist, I'm an eye doctor, so I know the visible spectrum. He's teaching us how to get out of the bitter sea through love, peace, and harmony. Because the more we repeat this mantra with the melody and sound that he was inspired by his higher guides, comes with such an incredible, powerful, tiny frequency and vibration, subtle. It helps us get out of the sea. You may have a fabulous life, happy for you, but life is short and it's never just straight and perfect all the time. There's always ups and downs like a wave. So I thank you for giving me your time. I hope I explained a little bit better why I believe in the song Love, Peace, Harmony, why I'm just Master Sha's amazing song, his amazing initiative to help humanity, a little bit of spirituality at the end towards there, but it's an amazing realization, and I hope it's one that resonates with you. And I hope sharing my insight, which I was lucky enough to receive from my higher guides, I hope that it helps you understand what we, or the Love, Peace, Harmony Foundation, is trying to accomplish by spreading this song and having the 1.5 billion people singing it by 2030, which now we'll have to wait till next week. Why 1.5 billion is the magic number. Please come next week, next Tuesday. And this bit will hopefully cement everything together so you understand why it's so important and understand why it would be really good if you join us, sing this song. There's an app for it, lovepeaceharmony.org. You can download the application for it and have it singing in the background. There's CDs, there's players that they have that they have. So I have this on the background all the time because, as you know, subconsciously we get a lot more information. Well, I'm not sure if you know, but 90% of our messages are subconscious. So I can explain that more in depth probably next week, how you have to be very careful of your surroundings and what you do with your environment. So I will, once again, I will post Love Peace Harmony Foundation. I'll post the link on my comment section. Tuesday nights, Master Shah Dao Center at 7:30 p.m. UK time. A group comes together, sings, they get blessings, they get healings, they get clearer, they get happier. And also on my website, I have regular classes that I'm doing. So if you want deeper knowledge, a little bit more advanced knowledge, please sign up for some of those classes. I'm very happy to do that. I've had this website for months now, but because I've been actually relatively busy doing service at the center, I've kind of not been so active on it, but I'm going to start. So I'll post a link of my website as well for deeper knowledge. If your heart calls you to learn more in a scientific type of way that's not too complicated, or I also do meditations and different things, and Love Peace Harmony as well. So thank you so much for your time. This video went on a bit longer than last week's. So sorry about that, but I hope I kept it interesting. So thank you so much. Please share the video. You have my permission to post it on your wall or share to spread the message, because the message of love, peace, harmony is a great message. So be part of this chain of spreading love, peace, and harmony to others, to the world, all over Facebook, wherever you want to. Please spread it within reason. I don't want to see my face on anything, my image on anything. Not great, but please use your discretion. But please share it, have more people get involved. Go to the website that I'm going to link in the comment section and just find out more for yourself. Next week, I will cement it all together and hopefully we'll do a practice. Hopefully I'll have some results for the experiment I have with the rice and the words. And I'm also putting it near my Love, Peace, Harmony song, which is throughout my whole house, but I'll try to, maybe I'll leave the ignored one outside. So thank you so much, and I will see you next Tuesday.